Our story opens the day after the human race artifact was stolen from the kingdom of Asgard. The party of Alva, Astro, Boys, and Sue have been convicted of stealing it, a crime they did not commit. Only one person truly believed their innocence, Stella Astra. So she staged a breakout, going down into the depths of the dungeon to rescue them, and, besides an unfortunate meeting with a doppelganger, were able to get them, as well as their equipment, out of the dungeon and convince the king to give them a second trial. In the second trial, under a Zone of Truth spell, they were proven innocent, yet the person giving them the guilty verdict was also proven innocent. A truth that could not be. So, with this truth in limbo, the king gave them an ultimatum. Return the race artifact in 2 weeks, or be executed. So, our party of 4 convicted, along with the princess, Stella, they rush out of Asgard to try and find who truly stole the human race artifact. Their journey took them to the small town of Lafala, a place entirely revolved around one singular building, the Tavern of Alakui. After recovering from their journey there and making small talk as they wish, the night soon ended and everyone left the tavern except for the party and the tavern owner, when he confronted them with an issue. He had been given a map by this specific party, Stella excluded. Yet this could not be, as this was their first encounter. Realizing that this was the work of the doppelgangers, they made quick work deciphering the map and what its true meaning was, and that the doppelgangers were hidden in a desert temple south of Lafala. Accompanied by Alakui, the party made their way to the desert temple. Fighting through its floors of puzzles and tricks, they find a second Stella curled up in the corner. The lights go out, and when they come back, 2 Stellas are standing next to each other. They don't know who the real one could be. Eventually deciphering these tricks though and incapacitating the doppelganger disguising themselves as the human princess, they were able to figure out a name of the invisible force trying to take the artifact for themselves. Sodgine. Returning to Lafala, still missing the artifact but one name stronger, they meet a friend of Alakui, a scout named Tenon. Tenon tells them that his intel says that there is someone who looks similar to the party held up in a town to the northeast of here, the town known as Rueta, a town full of retired adventurers. Arriving at Rueta, the party realized to make it back to Asgard on time, they only had 36 hours to find and subdue whatever creature had stolen the artifact and retrieve it for themselves. So they quickly met with Alakui's friend, a wood elf tinkerer known as Caius. With him and a human bartender that went by the name Nitsua, the party hatched a plan to corral the creature, block off every single gate and have one person in each district, and surely they would be able to find him. And they were able to. They were able to find and subdue the creature, but whenever it fell unconscious, it shifted and morphed into this weird alien-like creature, a tall, thin thing with a cone-shaped head and almost translucent purple skin. Paying it no mind and leaving it for the adventurers to figure out, the party quickly picked up the human race artifact and were ready to make their way back to Asgard. That is, until the storm hit. The storm carried heavy wind and rain, which was guaranteed to add 2, maybe even 3 days of travel back to Asgard. 2 to 3 days the party didn't have. Luckily, Caius was able to call in a favor. With a quick whistle, riding into town from the forest, a dragonborn riding a huge direwolf with purple eyes bounded into town. The direwolf transforming into a small wood elf. This turned out to be Thava, the dragonborn, and Lycan, the elf. With the two of theirs' help, Lycan becoming a horse, Thava riding the cart, and the rest of the party jumping in the cart, they ran as fast as they could back to Asgard, and were making decent time. Then, an unfortunate lightning bolt struck Lycan directly in the back, nearly killing him. Knowing that they had no time to spare, they scooped up Lycan, pulled Thava along, grabbed the race artifact, and just made a dead-ass sprint for Asgard. When they passed through the gates and looked at the time, it was 11:59 p.m. on the final day. They had made it. After the party was safely inside Asgard, Lycan, along with Thava, were rushed to the hospital to recover Lycan as much as they could. The rest of the party was brought to the castle, where they met with the king. And upon returning the human race artifact, he was very thankful, and did something that the king of Asgard typically never does. He apologized. He thanked them for what they had done, and he said that they were able to sleep wherever they wanted in Asgard that night, and the following morning, he would have a reward waiting for them. So, each of the party members chose their place of where they wanted to sleep, and they had a peaceful night, for once in a very long time. But of course, the peace can never last for very long. Awaking the next morning and returning to the castle, the entire party searched the grounds after the king never showed to claim their reward. Upon returning to his room, they found that the king had been murdered, still laying in his bed, entirely dead. Through some searching and some detective work, the party found that someone, whoever had murdered the king, was attempting to drive a fork in between the human kingdom of Asgard and the Genasi kingdom of Aldari. So, once again our party set out to the Genasi kingdom of Aldari to try and stop whatever this invisible force's plan was from driving a rift between the two kingdoms. Arriving in Aldari, the party decided to make a home in Astro's old farmstead, the home of the Kobold family. And after speaking with Astro's parents, as well as the royalty of the Aldari kingdom, they discovered two very big things. One, the Aldari race, a yearly tradition held by the Genasi, was happening in a week, and the trophies for winning said race were the keys to unlock the Genasi race artifact. So, if the winners happened to be a part of the Sodgein, they could steal the Genasi race artifact without anyone knowing. And two, the last time anyone was able to make connection with the so-called Sodgein was somewhere in the Kamaji Mountains. So, the party decided to head up to the Kamaji Mountains to see if they could find where this meeting took place. Traversing the Kamaji Mountains, the party finds the meeting place that the journal spoke of, a large volcanic rock sitting in an outcropping of the mountains. However, upon closer inspection, this wasn't actually a solid rock. It was a shell. And breaking through the volcanic layer, it revealed a monastery underneath. Sue's monastery, to be exact. Going inside, they seemed to find no clues regarding the Sodgein or their intentions. They did find something intriguing. It seems an entire mining operation was happening completely underneath the monastery itself. Traversing through the mining operation and clearing out all of its monsters, in the process they nearly lost the Tiefling Bard boys. Keeping him alive through sheer willpower alone, they rush to the top to try and get him some medical aid. But before they can leave the mining operation, Boys is stolen with a knife to his neck, as an interrogator wants to speak with them. The interrogator seems to know that the King of Asgard is actually alive, and if they want more information, he had to be able to kill Boys. Eventually turning the situation on the interrogator, though, they were able to ascertain that the king is currently being held in the elven capital of Jenna. Ending his life and returning to the top, the party gathers their thoughts as they head back to Aldari, the race only a couple days away. The day of the race came, and with the help of the royalty they were able to set up extra security measures as well as patrol the area. The start of the race seemed to go off without a hitch though, so the party thought that they were in the clear for but a moment, before a giant creature made of pure water burst out from the sea and started attacking all of the racers in the water. The party rushed to the shore, and with the royalty at their side, they were able to reach the creature and berate it with attacks. Unfortunately, the creature was too smart for them, and ended up snatching up a few of the royalty and using them as shields, the party accidentally attacking the royalty themselves. But with a bit of quick thinking, they were able to save the royalty and eventually slay the beast. And returning to shore, the party now starts to recuperate and figure out what their next plan is after saving the continent of Siad from an invisible rift trying to be driven for the second time by the Sod Gang. And that's where we are right now. To figure out where the party is going to go from here, you have to catch up on the Twitch streams that are happening every other Tuesday at 10 p.m. Eastern over on twitch.tv/gearvibes. But if you've missed one, don't worry, they'll be uploaded right here to the crew YouTube channel. So you'll be able to catch up whenever you wish, or even get other people interested in it. Thank you so much for checking it out. I hope to see you either at a stream or watching these videos. But that's it for me, and I can't wait to see you all in Siad. Peace.